Let's walk through Final Y5 Mini Mock 7 together, nice and slow so we all understand. Question 1. At the end of paragraph 2, the author says, "What a tragedy that would be." Now, what is that an example of? Is it A, a metaphor, B, alliteration, circa verbal irony, or D, illusion? The correct answer here is C, verbal irony. Think of it this way. The author doesn't really believe it would be a tragedy if a bug went extinct. They're using sarcasm to make a point. They are mocking the argument. Let's look at why the others are wrong. A, metaphor. Nope, we're not comparing two things here. B, alliteration. Not this time. The words don't start with the same sound. D, illusion. There's no hidden reference to another famous work. So C, verbal irony is our answer. Question 2. Based on what the author argues in paragraph 3, what can we guess that he does? Does he A, put up a Christmas tree, B, cut down rainforest trees, circa not celebrate Christmas, or D, live in Brazil or Bolivia? The correct answer is A, puts a Christmas tree in his home each winter. The author mentions cutting down a tree every Christmas, which implies they celebrate with a tree. Why not the others? B, not directly supported. C, actually, it's the opposite of what is implied. The author celebrates Christmas. D, not mentioned or suggested in the text. So A is our answer. Question 3. In paragraph 4, the author calls people who disagree with her tree huggers. What is she doing? Is it A, non sequitur, B, circular reasoning, circa a simile, or D, name calling? The correct answer is D, name calling. Tree huggers is used to insult or make fun of someone. Let's see why the others don't fit. A, the point is actually related. B, it's not about repeating the same idea, so it's not circular reasoning. C, we're not comparing things using like or as. So D, name calling is the correct answer. Question 4. A straw man argument is when someone twists what their opponent believes to make it easier to argue against them. Which line from the passage is the best example of a straw man? Is it A, what a tragedy that would be? B, we need the trees, they say, because they help absorb carbon dioxide, circa. These critics care more about beetles and trees than they do about poor people who need food. Or D, it's good for their economy and they need the money. The correct answer is circa, these critics care more about beetles and trees than they do about poor people who need food. This exaggerates what the critics think and makes them seem uncaring. Why not the other options? A, it's ironic, but not a misrepresentation. B, it's a direct quote without distortion. D, it supports a different point and does not misrepresent. So C is the answer. Question 5. What is the author trying to do in this passage? Is it to A, persuade, B, entertain, circa inform, or D, praise? The correct answer is A, to persuade. The author wants you to think it's okay to cut down rainforests sometimes. Here's why the others don't work. B, it's not really a funny story, so it's not to entertain. C, it's full of opinions, so it's not just to inform. D, the author is criticizing, not praising. So the answer is A, to persuade. Question 6. Which idea would the author most likely agree with? Is it A, cutting down trees affects the carbon in the air? B, Bolivia and Brazil are great vacation spots, circa we should always recycle? Or D, it's okay to harm the environment if it helps the economy? The correct answer is D. It is sometimes okay to harm the environment if it is good for the economy. The author says cutting down trees helps the economies in Brazil and Bolivia. Let's see why the others are wrong. A, it might be true, but the author doesn't really talk about it. B, it's not related to the passage. C, recycling isn't mentioned. So D is our answer. And that's all, folks. That concludes our walkthrough. Question 24. Thomas, Dominic, and Fiorella all had chips with their lunch. Dominic had a beef burger, and Fiorella had 2 fish fingers. Thomas had a glass of cola, while Dominic and Fiorella had a lemon drink each. If this statement is true, only one of the sentences below is true. Which one is it? Option A, Thomas doesn't like fish fingers. Option B, Dominic had a beef burger, chips, and a lemon drink. Option C, Thomas had more chips than Dominic. Option D, Fiorella had fish fingers, chips, and a cola. Option E, Thomas and Fiorella shared a lemon drink. The correct answer is option B. Dominic had a beef burger, chips, and a lemon drink. Here's the explanation. The passage confirms that Dominic had all those things. Only this sentence is fully true. The other options are incorrect because option A is not mentioned in the passage. Option C is also not stated. Option D is wrong because Fiorella had a lemon drink, not cola. Option E is wrong because they each had their own lemon drink they didn't share. Question 25. Mr. Green, Mr. Brown, and Mr. Gray all work in a bank. Mr. Brown leaves for work at 7:30 a.m., 10 minutes before Mr. Green. Mr. Green takes an hour to get to work, which is 15 minutes less than Mr. Gray, who leaves home at 7 o'clock. Mr. Brown arrives at the bank at 8:50 a.m. What time does Mr. Gray arrive at work? Option A, 8 o'clock a.m. Option B, 8:05 a.m. Option C, 8:15 a.m. Option D, 8:20 a.m. Option E, 8:30 a.m. The correct answer is option C, 8:15 a.m. Here's the explanation. Mr. Green leaves at 7:40 a.m., 10 minutes after Mr. Brown, and takes 1 hour to arrive, so he gets to work at 8:40 a.m. Mr. Gray takes 1 hour and 15 minutes to get to work, since that's 15 minutes more than Mr. Green. Since Mr. Gray leaves at 7 a.m., he arrives at 8:15 a.m. The other options are incorrect because only 8:15 a.m. matches the time it takes Mr. Gray to travel after leaving at 7 a.m. Okay, class, that concludes our Year 5 Mini Mock 7 video walkthrough. Question 13. Which of these sentences from the passage gives an opinion? Option A says, this is a very serious problem that needs to be addressed immediately. Option B says, today about 1/3 of the children in the United Kingdom are overweight. Option C says, in 2010, the government passed the Healthy, Hunger-Free Kids Act. Option D says, high-fat beef burgers can be replaced with lean turkey burgers. The correct answer here is option A. Saying something is very serious is a personal feeling, so it's an opinion. Now, option B gives us a fact with a statistic. Option C tells us about something that happened in history. And option D gives us a suggestion, which is also a factual possibility. Question 14. It was the first time a Green politician and a Labour minister had shared a platform. We need to find where the mistake is, and we have these options: A, B, C, D, and E, which means no mistake. The correct answer is option B. Did you notice anything strange? Yes, the word politician is spelled wrong. It should be politician, so the mistake is in group B. Question 15. You will receive annual salary or pay increments every September, and the options are A, B, C, D, and E, which means no mistake. The correct answer is option E. Everything is spelled correctly, so there's no mistake in the sentence. Question 16. Unfortunately, the report was prepared in haste and contained several inaccuracies. The options are A, B, C, D, and E. The correct answer is option A. Unfortunately is not how you spell unfortunately. It should be unfortunately with an E after the T, so that's where the mistake is. Question 17. It is impossible to defeat an ignorant man in argument. And our options to find the mistake are A, B, C, D, and E. The correct answer is option D. The word argument is spelled wrong. The correct spelling is argument without the E. Question 18. The noise was beginning to irritate me intensely. The options are A, B, C, D, and E. The correct answer is option E. This one was a bit of a trick. There are no spelling mistakes in this sentence. Question 19. The snow started to fall heavily, so all the schools and universities closed early. The options are A, B, C, D, and E. The correct answer is option B. Here, the punctuation is a little off. You shouldn't use a colon like that in this sentence. A comma or a full stop would work better. Question 20. London lies on the River Thames and has a population of 7 million. A, B, C, D, and E are the options. The correct answer is option B. Did you notice that Thames doesn't have a capital letter? River names should always start with a capital letter, so it should be Thames. Question 21. If we go inside, George said, we'll have to meet them. The options are A, B, C, D, and E. The correct answer is option C. After George said, since we're continuing the same sentence, will should start with a lowercase w. Question 22. Bring any 2 items, however. Sleeping bags and tents are in short supply. Our options are A, B, C, D, and E. The correct answer is option B. The punctuation before however isn't quite right. you should use a semicolon, winking face, or a full stop before it. Question 23. Today you will need to take your coat to school. It is going to rain later. The options to choose from are A, B, C, D, and E. The correct answer is option C. It's like two sentences squished together without anything to separate them. You need a full stop, a semicolon, or a connecting word like because between school and it. Question 24. She was as naturally extroverted as Paul Blank painfully introverted. Option A was, option B were, option C is, option D did, option E had. The correct answer here is option A was. Now, why is that? Well, the sentence is comparing two things, being extroverted and introverted, and it uses the structure as AS. So we need a verb that fits with this kind of comparison. Was is the right verb to use here because we're talking about how things were. Were is out because that's for plural subjects. And is, did, and had just don't fit grammatically in this sentence. Question 25. This amounted to an acknowledgement that she had blank wrong. Option A, B. Option B, being. Option C, been. Option D, was. Option E, did. The correct answer is option C, been. The phrase she had been wrong is the correct way to say something in the past perfect tense. Be and being just don't work with the grammar of the sentence. Was and did are past tense, but they don't go with had to make the past perfect. Question 26. Students stood around in groups waiting blank their results. Option A of, option B, at, option C, to, option D, for, option E, on. The correct answer is option D, for. We always say wait for someone or something. It's just the way we use the language. The other options, wait of, wait at, wait to, and wait on, they're just not correct. Question 27. When blank be the best moment to tell the family? Option A, must. Option B, may. Option C, can. Option D, could. Option E, would. The correct answer is option E, would. Would is what we use when we're asking a polite question or when we're talking about something that's hypothetical, like the best time to do something. Must, may, can, and could aren't as natural in this kind of sentence. Question 28. We must involve blank kids in our PE lessons. Option A, more. Option B, few. Option C, most of. Option D, lots. Option E, lesser. The correct answer is option A, more. More makes the most sense because we want to get more kids involved. Few means a small number, which isn't what we want. Most of doesn't quite fit grammatically here. Lots is a bit too informal for this sentence, and lesser isn't used with things you can count like kids. All right, now let's move on to the math section. Question 1. A plus A, option A, 6A. Option B, 3A. Option C, 2A squared. Option D, 9AC. Option E, negative 2C. The correct answer is option B, 3A. If you have A and you add another A and then add another A, you have 3 A's. It's like saying 1 apple plus 1 apple plus 1 apple equals 3 apples. Option A, 6A, would mean you're adding 6 A's together. Option C includes squaring, but we are just adding, not multiplying. Options D and E have letters that aren't in the original problem. Question 2. 4A plus 3AA. Option A, 6A. Option B, 3A. Option C, 2A squared. Option D, 9AC. Option E, negative 2C. The correct answer is option A, 6A. Let's break it down. First, 4A plus 3A is 7A. Then, you subtract 1A, so 7AA equals 6A. Option B only gives you 3A, which is too small. Option C involves squaring, which isn't needed here, and options D and E include letters that aren't in the original problem. Question 3. 2A. Option A divided by 2. Option B, 2 more than A. Option C, 2 less than A. Option D, A multiplied by 2. Option E, A less than 2. The correct answer is option E, A less than 2. When you subtract A from 2, you're saying that A is less than 2. Option A is division. Option B is adding. Option C reverses the subtraction. Option D is multiplication. Question 4. 2A. Option A divided by 2. Option B, 2 more than A. Option C, 2 less than A. Option D, A multiplied by 2. Option E, A less than 2. The correct answer is option D, A multiplied by 2. When you see a number right next to a letter in math, it means you are multiplying them. So 2A means 2 times A. Option A is division, while options B and C are addition and subtraction. Option E is a subtraction, 5, A plus 2. The choices are option A divided by 2, option B, 2 more than A, option C, 2 less than A, option D, A multiplied by 2, and option E, A less than 2. The correct answer here is option B, 2 more than A. Here's why. A plus 2 inches simply means we're adding 2 to the value of A, which is the same as saying 2 more than A. The other options are incorrect because option A is division, option C is subtraction, option D is multiplication, and option E is subtraction, but in the wrong order. Question 6. 8 times y times 2. Your options are option A cubed, option B 0.3 AC, option C 16y, option D 12ac, option E 5w. The correct answer is option C, 16y. Here's how we get that. We can multiply the numbers together. 8 times 2 equals 16, and we keep the y since we don't know what number it stands for. So the answer is 16y. The other options are incorrect because they either include the wrong variables or don't multiply correctly. Question 7. A times A times A. Option A cubed. Option B, 3ac. Option C, 16y. Option D, 12ac. Option E, 5w. The correct answer is option A. Explanation. A times A is a cubed. The other choices are incorrect because they use variables that aren't in the expression. Okay. Question 8. 3a times 4c. Option A cubed. Option B, 3ac. Option C, 16y. Option D, 12ac. Option E, 0.5w. The correct answer is option D, 12ac. Explanation. We multiply the numbers first. 3 times 4 equals 12. Then we multiply the variables. A times C gives us AC. So the answer is 12ac. Option B is not fully multiplied, and the others include unrelated letters. Question 9. If f equals 5 and g equals 6, what is fg? The options are option A 27, option B 120, option C 30, option D 22, option E 8. The correct answer is option C 30. Explanation. When letters are next to each other in math, it usually means multiplication. So fg means f times g. Since f is 5 and g is 6, we multiply 5 times 6, which equals 30. The other options are incorrect results of multiplication, or just random numbers. Question 10. If f equals 5 and g equals 6, what is 3f plus 2 grams? Your choices are option A 27, option B 120, option C 30, option D 22, option E 8. The correct answer is option A 27. Explanation. First, we need to find out what 3f and 2 grams are. 3f means 3 times f, which is 3 times 5, equaling 15. 2 grams means 2 times g, which is 2 times 6, equaling 12. Now we add them together. 15 plus 12 equals 27. The other options are incorrect sums or unrelated numbers. Question 11. If h equals 4 and I equals 2, what is 9h minus 7i? The options are option A 27, option B 120, option C 30, option D 22, option E, 8. The correct answer is option D, 22. Explanation. 9h means 9 times h, which is 9 times 4, equaling 36. 7i means 7 times I, which is 7 times 2, equaling 14. Now we subtract. 36 minus 14 equals 22. The other options give incorrect answers or unrelated values. Or practice questions. Question 12. 16 minus 5 times 2. We have 5 answer options. A is 25, B is 6, C is 1, D is 49, and E is 7. The correct answer here is option B, which is 6. Remember our order of operations. We need to do the multiplication first. So 5 times 2 equals 10. Now we subtract that from 16. 16 minus 10 equals 6. Option A is incorrect because it looks like they added before multiplying. The other options are just incorrect results from not following the correct order. Next, question 13. 10 minus 3 squared. Our options are A is 25, B is 6, C is 1, D is 49, and E is 7. Option C, 1, is the correct answer. Remember, 3 squared means 3 times 3, which is 9. Then 10 minus 9 equals 1. Option A is incorrect because it looks like they squared the wrong number. The others don't really relate to the problem. Question 14. 5 times the quantity of 2 plus 3. Our options are A is 25, B is 6, C is 1, D is 49, and E is 7. The correct answer is option A, 25. Remember, we need to solve what's inside the parentheses first. 2 plus 3 equals 5. Then, we multiply that result by 5. 5 times 5 equals 25. The other answers are just incorrect calculations. Last one. Question 15. A car drives 120 miles in 3 hours. Calculate the average speed in miles per hour. Our options are A is 40, B is 120, C is 30, D is 22, and E is 8. The correct answer here is option A, which is 40. To find speed, we use the formula. Speed equals distance divided by time. In this case, that's 120 divided by 3, which equals 40 miles per hour. Option B is just the distance, not the speed, and the others are incorrect divisions. Tackle some math problems together. Question 16. A lorry travels 100 miles at an average speed of 25 miles per hour. We need to figure out how long the journey lasts. Our options are A12, B5, C4, D6, and E8. The correct answer here is option C, which is 4. Remember, to find time, we divide the distance by the speed. So 100 miles divided by 25 miles per hour equals 4 hours. The other options? Well, they're just incorrect calculations, so don't let them trick you. Question 17. Now, a pigeon flies for 7 hours at a speed of 70 kilometers per hour. How far does the pigeon fly? Our choices are A 120, B 450, C 490, D 620, and E 480. The right answer is option C, 490. To find the distance, we multiply the speed by the time. So 70 kilometers per hour times 7 hours equals 490 kilometers. The other options are just wrong products of 70 and 7, so make sure you do your multiplication carefully. Question 18. Here we have a translation question. We're going to translate triangle C by 8 squares to the right and 1 square down. What will the new coordinates of point P be? The choices are A, 1, 5, B, 5, 1, C, 2, 3, D, 3, 2, and E, 2, -3. The correct answer is option B, 5, 1. Point P starts at -3, 2. When we move it 8 to the right, it becomes 5. Then, moving 1 down makes it 1. Therefore, the new coordinates are 5, 1. The other options are based on incorrect translations, so be precise with your movements. Question 19. Matthew jogs 300 meters at 4 meters per second. How long does it take him? Our options are A85, B80, C60, D65, and E75. The correct answer is option E, 75. To find the time, we divide the distance by the speed. 300 meters divided by 4 meters per second equals 75 seconds. The other answers come from incorrect divisions, so double check your work. Question 20. Concorde could travel 1 mile every 3 seconds. How many miles per hour is that? Our choices are A. 1850, B. 1080, C. 1200, D. 1065, and E. 1075. The correct answer is option C, 1200. If Concorde travels 1 mile every 3 seconds, that means it travels 20 miles in 1 minute. To convert that to miles per hour, we multiply by 60, since there are 60 minutes in an hour. 20 times 60 equals 1,200 miles per hour. Option A is too high, and options B, D, and E are too low compared to the correct speed calculation. Question 21. Josh is thinking of a number. He adds 4 to it, multiplies the result by 3, and then takes away 9. His final answer is 90. What number did Josh start with? Our options are A21, B22, C25, D27, and E29. The correct answer is option E, 29. Let's call the starting number x. So the equation becomes 3 times x plus 4 minus 9 equals 90. If we solve for x, we find that x equals 29. Options A through D don't equal 90 when you follow the same steps, so they can't be right. Question 22. We have 2 equations to help us figure out the value of b. 11 equals 6 plus a, and a plus 7 equals 10 plus b. Our options are A equals 3, B equals 5, B, A equals 4, B equals 5, C, A equals 3, B equals 5, D, A equals 5, B equals 2, and E, A equals 5, B equals 5. The correct answer is option D, A equals 5, B equals 2. From the first equation, we can see that A must be 5. Substituting A into the second equation, we get 5 plus 7 equals 10 plus B, which simplifies to 12 equals 10 plus B. Therefore, B equals 2. All the other options have the wrong values of A or B based on incorrect substitutions, so watch out for those. By step. Question 23. The question says, work out the output when the input is 10. Here are our options. Option A, 21. Option B, 22. Option C, 25. Option D, 27. Option E, 29. The correct answer is option C, which is 25. Here's the explanation. We need to multiply 10 by 4, which gives us 40. Then, we subtract 15 from 40, and that leaves us with 25. Now, let's see why the other options are incorrect. Options A, B, D, and E are wrong because they come from doing the math incorrectly when using the input of 10. Question 24. This time, we need to figure out the input when the output is 25. Our options are option A, 11, option B, 12, option C, 10, option D, 27, option E, 29. The correct answer here is option C, which is 10. Here's how we get there. We start with the output, which is 25. We need to add 15 to it, which gets us 40. Then, we divide 40 by 4, and that gives us 10. The other options are incorrect because if you use them as the input and follow the rule of multiplying by 4 and then subtracting 15, you won't get 25 as the output. Question 25. Now let's write an expression for the output if the input is y. The options are option A, 4y, option B, 4y plus 15, option C, 4y minus 15, option D, 15y plus 4, option E, 15y minus 4. The correct answer is option C, 4y minus 15. Here's the explanation. We follow the same rule as before. We multiply the input y by 4, which gives us 4y. Then we subtract 15 from that, so the expression is 4y minus 15. Why the others are wrong. Option A doesn't subtract 15. Option B adds 15 instead of subtracting. Options D and E mix up the numbers and the variable y. Question 26. Okay, let's solve this word problem. Nicola has y marbles. Sean has 25 marbles, and Vicky has 10 marbles. Altogether, they have 55 marbles. How many marbles does Nicola have? The options are option A, 11, option B, 12, option C, 10, option D, 27, option E, 20. The correct answer is option E, 20. Here's how we figure it out. Y plus 25 plus 10 equals 55. If we combine 25 and 10, we get 35. So y plus 35 equals 55. That means y must be 20, because 20 plus 35 equals 55. The other options are incorrect, because if you add them to 25 and 10, you won't get a total of 55. Question 27. Ben reflects a triangle on a graph across the y-axis. What are the coordinates of the reflection of point A? Here are the choices. Option A, 3, 2. Option B, -2, -2. Option C, 1, 4. Option D, 3, 0. Option E, 2, 2. The correct answer is option E, 2, 2. Here's the explanation. Point A is at -2, 2. When we reflect it across the y-axis, the x-coordinate changes to +2, but the y-coordinate stays the same. So the new coordinates are 2, 2. Why the other options are incorrect? Option A has the x-coordinate wrong. Option B reflects across the origin instead of the y-axis. Option C changes both coordinates incorrectly, and option D has the wrong y-coordinate. Question 28. The rectangle on the coordinate grid is moved 3 units to the right and 2 units down. What are the new coordinates of its corners? The options are option A, 3, 6, 6, 6, 6, 2, 3, 2. Option B, 6, 3, 6, 6, 2, 6, 2, 3. Option C, 5, 6, 8, 6, 8, 2, 5, 2. Option D, 5, 4, 8, 4, 8, 0, 5, 0. Option E, 4, 5, 4, 8, 0, 8, 0, 5. The correct answer is option D, 5, 4, 8, 4, 8, 0, 5, 0. Explanation. Each corner of the rectangle moves 3 units to the right and 2 units down. For example, if a corner was at 2, 6, it would move to 5, 4. We do this for all the corners. Why the other options are incorrect? Options A, B, C, and E either move the corners in the wrong direction or don't move them the correct number of units. And that's it for today.
So now I'm going to be going through the answers to the MVR section of this mock. So the first questions are series questions. So you've got to see what the pattern is and then what will be next in the pattern. So for this first question, we've got a black oval, then a white oval, then a white oval with a black dot, and then a black oval again. So this next one's going to be a white oval, so we can rule out B and E. Next, we need to look at the triangles. So we've got a white triangle with a black dot, a black triangle, then a white triangle. So next we're going to have a white triangle with a black dot in it, and then we're going to have the white oval as well. So the answer's got to be A. Next question. So here we've got sections and segments of a circle. So let's look at the dotted part first. So here we've got a full circle, and then in this one we've got half the circle and then a quarter. So I'm assuming in this one we're going to have 3/4 of the circle, and it's going to be facing the way I've drawn it, so we can rule out D because that's the opposite way. And as you can see, between these two, it was this section that was removed, so that's going clockwise. It's being removed. The section of the circle are being removed clockwise. So yeah. Next, let's look at the non-dotted, the straight lined bits of the circle. So here we've got a quarter, and then here we've got 3/4, and then here we've got a whole. So in this one, I'm assuming there's going to be a half. So the answer here is also A. Next question. So here we've got a hexagon, and then a pentagon, then a hexagon, then a pentagon. So here we're going to have a hexagon as well. And it's going to be drawn with the points like how I've drawn it, with the point at the top. So we can rule out B because that's a flat one. And we can rule out D because it's got a pentagon inside of it. And it's just wrong. So now let's look at the lines. So here they're this way, and then they're this way. So I'm assuming they're going to be going this way, following the pattern. So the answer is A. Next question. Here we've got a white circle, then black, then black, then white. So here it's going to be a white circle. So we can rule out those three. Next, the number of lines. Here we've got 1, 2, 4, 5. So here there's going to be 3. So the answer is A. Next question. So these are our similarity questions. So here we've got a circle and some lines. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 3 lines. 1, 2, 3. So there's got to be 3 lines. A doesn't have 3. B does have 3. 1, 2, 3. So we already know that B will be the answer. We don't have to go through the rest. Next question. We've got 3 shapes that are overlapping, and the way they're overlapping is we've got one that's right at the back, then one that's in front of it, and then one that's in front of that. Same here. We've got one that's right at the back, one shape that's in front of that, and then one shape that's at the front of them all. So 2 of the shapes are never like in the same position, like in the same plane. There's always one in front of the other. So the answer here has got to be B, because we've got this one at the back, this one in front of that, and then this one in front of that. All the rest, you've got 2 of them in the same place, like 2 in front of one. So these 2 are both on the same level in front of the back one. So these two are in the same level, and so are these 2. So it's none of those. Next question, we've got a square with 4 circles inside and a triangle with 3 rhombuses inside. So the number of sides equals the number of shapes inside. So here we've got 4, here we've got 3. So the answer to this one is A, because we've got 4-sided shape and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 smaller shapes inside. Here we've got 4 and 5, so not B. Here we've got 5 and 4, not C. 4 and 3, 1 and 3. So the answer is A. Next question. Here we've always got circles, so not any of these other shapes, so we can rule out those. And as you can see, the white circles are always joined together by lines, so we can rule out D because these white circles are not joined together by a line. So the answer is E. Next, we've got these code questions. So these code questions are quite good questions once you know how to do them properly, because they're quite easy to figure out. So you've just got to look at 2 of the shapes that have a letter in the same position and then see what shape or pattern they have in common. So what that means is, so these 2 both have an F as their first letter, and they both have this triangle in the bottom left corner in common. So the first letter determines where that triangle will be. In the test shape, the triangle is in the top left corner, same as in this one. And the first letter here was a Y. So the first letter has got to be a Y, so we can rule out those 2 as an option. Next, let's look at the second letter. So all 3 of them have 3 different second letters. So in the test shape, and what's different about all three of the squares is the position of these lines. So in the test shape, we've got a line here, same as this one. And the second letter here is an X. So YX, the answer is D. Next question. So these two both have an M as the first letter. And what they both have in common is this circle thing. In the test shape, we've got this circle thing, which matches this one. And the first letter here was an I. The first letter has got to be an I. So we can rule out those three. Next, let's look at... So let's look at the second letter, because B and D both have a Y as the third letter. So all three of these have a different third letter, J, E, and N. So what they also have that is different in each of them is this square. As you can see here, we've got a cross in this one, we've got these diagonal lines, and we've got these vertical lines. So the test shape has this square with a cross in, same as this one, and it has a J as the second letter. So the answer has got to be B, IJY. Next question. So we've got three different first letters. So let's start by looking at the second letters. So these two both have a Y as the second letter, and they both have a pentagon as the grey shape. The test shape also has a pentagon as the grey shape, so the second letter will be a Y. So we can rule out those three options. Now let's look at the first letters. They're all different, K, N, and R. And what they also have that is different is these circles, the colour of them and how they... the colour of them. So in the test shape, we've got a black circle, then two black circles overlapping a white one, like this, which matches this one. And the first letter here was a K, so it's going to be KY, so the answer is B. Next question. So here are three different first letters, so let's look at the second letters first of all. These two both have an L as the second letter, and what they both have in common is that the two shapes are the same. So we've got a square and another square. We've got an arrow and a larger arrow. Whereas in the other one, we've got a triangle and then a square. So in the test shape, we've also got two different shapes, a triangle and an arrow. So the first letter has got to be an O. So we can rule out those three options. Sorry, the second letter has got to be an I because we was looking at the second letter. So we can rule out those three. Sorry about that. Now let's look at the first letters. We've got J, O, and P. And what they all have that is different is the lines in the inside shape. So here we've got diagonal, here we've got vertical, and here we've got no lines. In the test shape, we've also got no lines. So the first letter is going to be a P. P-I. So the answer is C. Next, we've got these. These are like similarity questions. So here we've got vertical lines. So we know the answer's got to have vertical lines. So we can rule out any with horizontal or diagonal. But what else they have in common is the fact that they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They are both four-sided shapes. So A, we can rule out A, one-sided, C, five-sided. So the answer is E, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next question. Here, as you can see, the sections of the shape, how it's broken up, they're all equally sized. So like this is the same size as this, and this, and this, and this, and same in the other shape. So that means we can rule out any of them that are not broken up equally, like B and C and E. And then also, as you can see, there's equal numbers of striped and unstriped. So here we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer has got to be D, because we've got 2 striped and 2 unstriped. Whereas in A, we've got 2 striped and 4 unstriped. Next question, we've got 2 shapes. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4-sided and a 1, 2, 3-sided, 4-sided and a 3-sided. So we know we've got to have a 4-sided and a 3-sided. So we can rule out A because we've got a pentagon, which is 5-sided. We can rule out B because there's 3 shapes when there should only be 2. Same reason we can rule out C. We can rule out D because we've got a hexagon, which is 6-sided. So the answer's got to be E. We've got the 3-sided and the 4-sided. Next question. So here we've got these circles joined together with a curved line at the end. So as you can see, this circle is always black, the end one, and then the opposite end is always white. So that means we can rule out B because it's black here. And then also, as you can see, there's only 2 of the circles that have like a pattern or different shape. So these 2 both have a line in, and these 2 both have a black dot in them. So there's only 2, so we can rule out A because there's 1, 2, 3 here. And we can rule out D because there's 1, 2, 3 here. And we can rule out E because there's 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So the answer's got to be C. So there's only 1, 2 here. Back to the code questions now. So now there's 4 different shapes, so it's a bit more complicated, but still. So they've all got a different first letter. So let's look at the second letter. So these 2 both have a P as the second letter. And what do they both have in common? This circle. They both have a circle on the inside. So the second letter determines what that shape on the inside will be. So in the test shape, we've got a hexagon, same as here. So the second letter here is an R. It's got to be an R here. So we can rule out B, D, and E because they've got different second letters. Next, let's look at the third letter. So these 2 both have a J as the third letter, and their inside shape has 1 line going through the middle. And as you can see in the test shape, we've got multiple lines going through the middle, same as in this one. And the last letter here is a K, so there's got to be a K here. So the answer is A, because we've got the RK. Next question. So in these ones, these 2 have the same first letter, a G. And what do they both have in common? They both have 5 sections. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As you can see in the other ones, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's why it's different. In this one, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which was the same as this one. And the first letter here was a H. So it's got to be a H. Sorry. Next, let's look at the second letter. These 2 both have an L as the second letter. And what do they both have in common? They both have three black sections. The test shape also has 3, so the second letter here will be an L. So we can rule out these two already. So we know the answer's got to be D because of the HL. Next question. We've got only 2 letters and 3 shapes, so this one's a bit easier. So these two both have an M as the first letter, and as you can see, they both have no black circle in the middle. They're both plain, whereas the test shape does have a black circle like this one. The first letter here is an L, so it will be an L here as well, so we can rule out C and E. Next, let's look at the second letter. These two both have a P. They are both circles. The test shape is a hexagon, like this one, and the second letter here is a Q. LQ, the answer is D. Next. So, 4 different first letters, but these two both have a P as the second letter, and these two both have a Q as the second letter. So these two both have a circle, and these two both have a triangle. The test shape has a triangle, so the second letter will be a Q, so we can rule out those two because they have a P as the second letter. Next, let's look at the third letter. These two both have a V as the third letter, and they both have an arrow pointing upwards. The test shape also has an arrow pointing upwards, so the third letter will be a V, Q, V, so the answer is E. Next, we've got these analogy questions. So here we've got here we've got 1, 2, 3 circles, and then here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've added 1. Here we have 2. So add 1, we're going to have 3 circles on the inside. So we can rule out those two because there's only 2 in those. I'll just draw them in. Next, let's look at the actual shape. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a 5-sided shape, and then here we have a square, so 4-sided. So we have -1. Here we've got a hexagon, 6-sided shape. -1, we're going to have a 5-sided shape, so it's going to be a pentagon. So the answer has got to be C. We've got the pentagon with the 3 black circles inside. Next, we've got the inside shape, which is a circle. That became the outside shape. So the inside shape of a square will become the outside shape. So we can rule out B already. Next, so the outside shape of a rectangle became the inside shape. So this outside shape will become the inside shape. So we can, for this one, we can rule out A and D because this is rotated when it shouldn't have. Because as you can see, the long sides of the triangle are still this way. They're not now rotated like that. So that's why we know this shape won't also be rotated. Next, let's look at the way the grey and white changes. So here, it's like the grey has now rotated clockwise because it's now at the top. So the greys are on the right, rotate it clockwise, it'll be on the bottom. And it's only rotated 90 degrees, so it's going to be at the bottom half. So this bottom half is going to be grey. So the answer for this one is C. The bottom half is grey. Next question. So here, so the shapes stay the same. So we had two pentagons and then we got a hexagon. So we know it's going to remain a hexagon. So that's why we can rule out D, because it's a pentagon. Next, let's look at, so the arrows are pointing outwards, as you can see. And now they're pointing inwards. So same here, pointing outwards. So we know they're going to be pointing inwards. So we can rule out any that are pointing outwards. A, pointing outwards. C, they're pointing outwards, so we can rule it out. So we're left with B and E. Now let's look at the lines where they intersect the outside shape. So here, it's always at a point of the pentagon, as you can see, but then it changes to going through a middle of the lines of the pentagon. So again here, it was going through the corners. Each line was connected to a point, but now they're going to be going through the middle of the lines like that. So the answer is E, going through the middle of the lines. Next question. So here we've got a triangle that remains, so this shape will remain. So that means we can rule out B, because it shouldn't have rotated like that. And we can rule out E for the same reason. Next, let's look at this shape. So as you can see, it's enlarged and it's rotated 90 degrees anti-clockwise. So this arrowhead thing will also rotate 90 degrees anti-clockwise, and it will be pointing and enlarging. So it'll be pointing upwards like that, like it is in D. Next, we've got these fold along the line, hole punch and unfold. So I've not seen these types of questions before, but basically what you do with these, the fold line, which is this dotted one, is kind of like a mirror line, so like a line of symmetry. So whatever is on this side will be on the other side. So here we've hole punched it here. So when you unfold it, there's going to be a hole punch hole in the same place. So the answer for this one has got to be B, because it's not going to be A, because there should be another hole, definitely. And it's not C, even though that looks similar, because it's a mirror line, and the circle here was not over here, it was here, so it's going to be in the same place, more in the middle, whereas these are quite close to the end when they shouldn't be. And it's definitely not going to be D, because we've hole punched it here. We're going to unfold it along this line, so it's going to be on this side. There's not now going to be two here, and for the same reason it's not going to be E, because there's not all of a sudden going to be one in the opposite corner. When you unfold it, you're unfolding it along this line, so it's going to be one here. So that's why it's B. Next question. So we folded it here, and we've hole punched it with these triangle shapes. So we know there's got to be one triangle at the bottom like this. So looking at the answer options, we can already eliminate E, because this triangle is upside down for some reason when it shouldn't be. Eliminating options as you go along makes it easier, because then you don't have to look at all of them when you're trying to work out the answer. So this line here is going to be the line of symmetry. So we've got a triangle here, so draw the opposite here, and draw the opposite here like that. So the answer has got to be C. Next question. This one's more complicated because we're folding it twice. So folding it here, and then you're folding it here as well. So we're gonna have, so imagine that's the line of symmetry. So we're gonna draw the circles here, and then imagine these are the lines of symmetry as well. So there's gonna be one here and one here. So the answer to this one is going to be C. As you can see, we've got the two that were originally there, and then these two, and then these two. Next, again, we're folding it twice. So imagine you fold, this is the mirror line. So we're going to have one here. And then imagine now this is the mirror line. We're going to have one here and one here because they're already close to the end of the line. So they're going to be close to the end here as well. So that means the answer is E. Next, we've got these bird's eye view questions. So here, so when you look at it, so you're looking at it from the top. So just draw what you would see if you look at it from the top. So you're going to see these three in a line at the top. They're going to be grey. And then on the, so that's going to be the top row. And then on the bottom row, you're going to see, we're going to see this grey one. So let's just, and that's going to be like in line with that. And then another grey one next to it, which is this one. And then as you can see here, we've got none there, so there's going to be two blanks. So this will be a blank. So that means we can already rule out A because there's 4 grey ones at the top when there shouldn't be. And we can rule out B because there's 3 on this left side when there should be more on the right. Same reason we can rule out D. And so we know the answer's got to be E because of the second row. There should be 2 grey squares like I've drawn. Sorry, there should only be 2 grey squares, not this third one here, because these 2 spaces are blank. Only 2 like that. Next question. So you're going to have so for this one, so imagine these 2 are the top ones. You're going to have 2 grey ones at the top, and then this one and this one is going to be on the second row. And as you can see, there's a gap in between them. So just rub it out so you can see. So this grey one is this one, and that's in line with this grey one. So there's going to be a grey one below it. And then there's going to be a gap on the second row. And then there's going to be that grey one there. So the answer for this one is C. Next question, we're going to have these 3 grey ones. And then we're going to, so for this one's a bit, if you just look at this, as you can see, all the grey ones are following this sort of pattern. So that makes it easier because then you can know that the answer's got to be A because it follows that pattern. Don't let this grey one here confuse you because that's directly below this one, so you won't see it anyway. So, and all this space in the middle is all empty space, which is this space here. So the answer's got to be A. Next question, again, it's following this pattern, like three straight lines like that, and we've got all this empty space in the middle. So the answer here has got to be E, because we've got the 3 straight lines and the empty space in the middle. And then if you look at the specifics of it, it makes sense as well, because we've got these 4, which is these 4. We've got these 3, which is these 3. And then you've got these 2, which is these 2. That's why it's E. Next, we've got these cubes. Match the net with the correct cube. So when the squares in the net are one space apart, they'll end up being opposite each other. So you won't see them together in the same one. So for example, these 2 squares are 1 square apart, so you won't see them in the cube together because they'll be opposite each other. That means we can rule out C, because they should not be next to each other like that. They should be opposite each other. Also, this square and this square are 1 space apart, so they should also be opposite each other. So that means we can rule out E, because again, they're next to each other when they should be opposite each other. Opposite meaning they'll be on the opposite side. So as you can see in the cubes, you can only see 3 sides. So it would be on the side that you can't see. So yeah. So we've eliminated those 2. Next, we can also eliminate A here, because as you can see, the ends of this curve are next to this part. So the top of the curved bit of it, is not facing the 2 black squares like it is here. So that would not be possible, because in the net it's not like that. The curve is away from this square. So we can rule out A for that reason. And also because here the black triangle is literally touching it, and here it's completely on the opposite side. It would be touching it somewhere along this edge here, if that was the case, but it's not, so that's why A is eliminated. So the answer for this one is B, because as you can see, the curved bit is facing away from this square, and this triangle is touching it here, so that's why it's B. And then we don't even need to go through D, because again, this curved bit, D is just wrong. So next question. So let's do the 1 square apart thing again. So these 2 are 1 square apart, they'll be opposite each other, so we can eliminate A because they're next to each other here when they shouldn't be. We can eliminate B for that reason as well. Next, this black circle and black square are 1 space apart. 1 space apart, so they would be opposite each other when you fold it into a cube, so you wouldn't see them together in the cube when you're looking at one side of it. So that's why we can eliminate C. And then we can also, the white square and the black cross are also 1 square apart, so they will also be opposite each other, but they're next to each other here, so we can eliminate D, and the answer is E. Next question. So here we've got two crosses, so it's a bit more confusing. So let's just look at these two being one square apart. The white triangle and the black triangle. So they would never be together. And they're not in any of the answer options. So that's good. So here so let's look at some other reads. So it's not A because if you see the square and line, you wouldn't see both the squares and the line together, because this line and this cross are one square apart, so they'd be opposite each other. Here we've got both the crosses and the line, which is not possible. And also we can eliminate B. As you can see, there's no plain white square in the net. They've all got a pattern or shape in it. So there can't all of a sudden be a plain blank side of the cube. We can also eliminate E because the as you can see, the bottom of the triangle is in line with the square, when here the point of the triangle is in line with the square. So this cube just doesn't make sense for that reason. And then we can also eliminate C because again the point of the triangle is in line with one edge of the square, whereas here the bottom of the triangle is in line with the square. Like it is here, the bottom of the triangle is in line with the square, so the answer's got to be D. Next question. So we've got different shapes and patterns, so these two are one square apart, so they would be opposite each other, so not seen together, and they're not, so that's good. These two are one square apart, so they'd be opposite each other, so we can rule out A because they're next to each other here, not opposite each other. Next, the half black, half white and the black triangle are one square apart, so they would be opposite each other. And then not together, they're not next to each other, any of the rest of them, so that's fine. So we've got to look at some of other stuff. So here we can rule out D because if you look at it, the triangle is like upside down in line with this edge, and this is also like facing it, and this is also now horizontal so D just doesn't make sense because it just seems wrong. So that's why it just doesn't seem possible. So we can rule it out for that reason, because they both wouldn't have their like point in the same direction when you form a cube. And We can also rule out C here because the triangle here is facing the black side of that shape, where here it's facing the white side. So that's why we can rule out C. And then we can also rule out E because this is not how it would end up looking with if the circle was at the top. It's just wrong. So the answer for this one is B, because we've got this white section of this one in line with the circle, and then it makes sense for then this star to like fold and become next to this one here. So B just makes sense. So B is the answer. So that's it.
Into some verbal reasoning questions. Remember, verbal reasoning is all about using words and logic to solve problems. So pay attention and let's have fun. Question 1. AC is to DF as HJ is to what? Option A, KN. Option B, NK. Option C, KM. Option D, MK. Option E, PK. The correct answer is option C, which is KM. Here's the explanation. In the alphabet, A is the first letter and D is the fourth. So we've added 3. C is the third letter and F is the sixth, so we're also adding 3 here. Now let's apply that to HJ. H is the 8th letter, and if we add 3, we get K. J is the 10th letter, and if we add 3, we get M. That gives us the pair KM. Why are the other options incorrect? Option A, KN, adds 3 and then 4, which isn't consistent. Option B, NK, reverses the order. Option D, MK, uses the correct letters, but in the wrong order. Option E, PK, doesn't follow the +3 rule at all. Question 2. SA is to ZH as MP is to what? Option A, KN. Option B, NK. Option C, KM. Option D, MK. Option E, PK. The correct answer is option A, KN. Explanation. This question uses letter partners from the alphabet code, also known as alphabet mirrors. S pairs with Z and A pairs with H. So we're using alphabet mirrors here. M's partner is K and P's partner is N, which makes the answer KN. Why are the other options incorrect? Option B, NK, gives the correct letters but reverses the order. Option C, KM, uses the wrong partners. Option D, MK, swaps the letter order. Option E, PK, is an incorrect pair. Question 3. CD is to XW as EF is to what? Option A, UV. Option B, VU. Option CTW. Option DMK. Option EPK. The correct answer is option B, VU. Explanation. C is the third letter. Its mirror image is X, D is the fourth letter, and its mirror image is W. Using the same logic, E matches with V and F matches with U. So the answer is VU. Why are the other options incorrect? Option A, UV, reverses the correct answer. Option C, TW, includes only one correct letter. Options D and E are incorrect because they don't follow the mirror image rule. Question 4. GJ is to IL as RU is to what? Option A, SW. Option B, TW. Option C, WS. Option D, TX. Option ESV. The correct answer is option B, TW. Explanation. G is the 7th letter, and J is the 10th letter. In the pair G, J to IL, we move forward in the alphabet. G to I is +2, and J to L is also +2. Let's apply the same pattern to RU. R +2 is T, and U +2 is W. That gives us TW. Why are the other options incorrect? Option A, SW, is +1 and +1, which doesn't match our pattern. Option C, WS, reverses the order. Option D, TX adds 2 and 3, not the same. Option E, SV, only adds 1 and 1. None of these match the +2 pattern. Question 5. OQ is to RP as WV is to what? Option A, UZ. Option B, AY. Option C, TW. Option D, ZU. Option E, ZX. The correct answer is option D, ZU. Explanation. O is the 15th letter, and R is the 18th, so that's +3. Q is 17th, and P is 16th, so that's -1. Apply the same logic to W and V. W +3 is Z, and V -1 is U. So the answer is U. Why are the other options incorrect? Option A switches the order. Option B is unrelated. Option C uses the wrong logic. Option E is close, but the letters are not reversed properly. Question 6. HB is to YS as PL is to what? Option A, CA. Option B, NK. Option C, KM. Option D, ZJ. Option E, OK. The correct answer is option E, OK. Explanation. Using mirror partners from the alphabet, H and B become Y and S. H is the 8th letter, and B is the 2nd. Their mirror partners are Y and S. For P, which is the 16th letter, the mirror is K. For L, the 12th letter, the mirror is O, so the pair is OK. Why are the other options incorrect? Option A is not the correct mirror pair. Options B and C are incorrect partners. Option D has the right mirror for P but the wrong mirror for L. Option 7. UG is to BK as SF is to what? Option A, CA. Option B and K. Option C, KM. Option D, ZJ. Option EPK. The correct answer is option D, which is ZJ. Explanation. Let's try using mirror partners again. U is the 21st letter and its mirror is F. G is the 7th letter and its mirror is T. However, UG becomes BK. That tells us we're not using mirror images, but rather a forward-shifting pattern. U to B is +5, looping past Z if necessary, and G to K is +4. Now let's apply the same logic to S and F. S +5 equals X, and F +4 equals J. So S, F initially becomes XJ. However, since we need to maintain alphabet order and follow the looping rules, it results in ZJ. Why are the other options incorrect? Options A, B, C, and E do not fit this specific shift pattern that we've identified. Question 8. RK is to LN, as IX is to what? We have options A, which is CA, B, which is NK, C, which is KM, D, which is ZJ, and E, which is PK. The correct answer is A, CA. Let's break down why. If we look at the letters R and L, R is the 18th letter in the alphabet, and L is the 12th. So to go from R to L, we subtract 6. Now let's look at K and N. K is the 11th letter, and N is the 14th. To go from K to N, we add 3. So we have a pattern of -6 plus 3. We will apply the same pattern to IX. I is the 9th letter, so 9 minus 6 is 3, which gives us C. X is the 24th letter, so 24 plus 3 is 27. But there are only 26 letters. That means we loop back to the beginning, so 27 becomes A. That's why the answer is CA. The other options are incorrect because they don't follow this -6 plus 3 pattern. Question 9. UO is to Florida, as HV is to what? Our options are A, SW, B SE, C WS, D TX, and E SV. The correct answer here is B SE. Let's see why. To go from U to F, we shift back 15 letters. To go from O to L, we shift back 3 letters. So our pattern is minus 15, minus 3. Now, let's apply that to HV. H minus 15 loops all the way back to S, versus minus 3 is E. So the answer is S, E. Option A gives SW, which would be shifts of minus 11 and minus 1, not matching our pattern. Option C gives WS, which has the correct letters, but they're reversed. Option D, TX, uses completely different shifts. And option E, SV, shifts both letters in the same direction, which doesn't match our pattern. Question 10. TZ is to VT as DM is to what? The options are A, GF, B, TW, C, FG, D, TX, and E, WT. The correct answer is C, FG. From T to V, we add 2. From Z to T, we subtract 6. So our pattern is plus 2, minus 6. Now let's do the same with DM. D plus 2 is F. M minus 6 is G. So the answer is FG. Option A, GF, is just reversed. Options B and D, TW and TX, don't follow the plus 2 minus 6 rule. And option E, WT, mixes up the shift directions. Question 11. This time we have a number sequence. 19, 21, 25, 31, 39. What comes next? Our options are A, 27, B, 42, C, 47, D, 49, and E, 51. The correct answer is D, 49. Let's find the pattern. From 19 to 21, we add 2. From 21 to 25, we add 4. From 25 to 31, we add 6. And from 31 to 39, we add 8. It looks like we're adding increasing even numbers. So the next step is to add 10. 39 plus 10 is 49. Option A is too low, and the other options don't follow the pattern of increasing even numbers. Question 12. Another number sequence. 17, 23, 27, 33, 37. What comes next? The options are A, 37, B, 43, C, 47, D, 49, and E, 51. The correct answer is B, 43. The sequence goes up by 6, then 4, then 6, then 4. So the next increase will be 6. 37 plus 6 is 43. Option A just repeats the last number. Options C, D, and E are all higher than we'd expect, and they don't fit the alternating pattern. Question 13. Here's our next number sequence. 17, 18, 20, 23, 27. What comes next? Our options are A, 27, B, 42, C, 32, D, 39, and E, 31. The correct answer is C, 32. The numbers increase by 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So the next number increases by 5. 27 plus 5 is 32. Option A repeats the last number. Options B, D, and E don't follow the pattern of increasing by 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Question 14. Here is the next number sequence. 35, 32, 30, 27, 25. What comes next? The options are A, 27, B, 22, C, 47, D, 49, and E, 51. The correct answer is B, 22. The sequence goes down by 3, then 2, then 3, then 2. So we subtract 3 next. 25 minus 3 is 22. Option A repeats an earlier number. Options C, D, and E are all too high and don't fit the pattern. Question 15. Number sequence time. 27, 28, 24, 25, 21. What comes next? The options are A, 17, B, 12, C, 37, D, 29, and E, 22. The correct answer is E, 22. The pattern is we add 1, then subtract 4. So we're going to add 1 again. 21 plus 1 is 22. Options A, B, C, and D do not follow the alternating +1, -4 pattern. Look at question 16. Our sequence is 160, 80, 40, 20, 10. And we need to figure out what number comes next. Our options are option A, 3, option B, 4, option C, 5, option D, 6, option E, 7. The correct answer here is option C, which is 5. Now let's break down why. What's happening in this pattern? Well, the pattern halves each time. To get from 160 to 80, we divide by 2. 80 divided by 2 gives us 40. 40 divided by 2 gives us 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So what's half of 10? That's right, it's 5. Now let's look at why the other options are incorrect. All the other options are not half of 10. 3, 4, 6, and 7 are not the result of dividing 10 by 2. Does that make sense? Questions. Question 17. We have a sequence here. 17, 16, 14, 13, 11. And we need to figure out what number comes next. Here are your options. Option A, dot 10. Option B, 12. Option C, 14. Option D, 16. Option E, 18. The correct answer is option A, which is 10. Here's the explanation. The pattern alternates between subtracting 1 and subtracting 2. So we subtract 1 from 17 to get 16, then subtract 2 from 16 to get 14, subtract 1 from 14 to get 13, subtract 2 from 13 to get 11. To continue the pattern, we need to subtract 1 from 11, which gives us 10. The other options are incorrect because they don't follow this alternating subtract 1, subtract 2 pattern. Question 18. The sequence is 3, 6, 8, 16, 18, 36, and we need to find the next number. Your options are option A, 17, option B, 12, option C, 38, option D, 19, option E, 21. The correct answer is option C, which is 38. Here's why. The pattern here alternates between multiplying by 2 and adding 2. So 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, 16 plus 2 is 18, 18 times 2 is 36. Following the pattern, we need to add 2 to 36, which gives us 38. The other options are incorrect because only 38 follows the alternating multiplication and addition rule. Question 19. Let's look at this sequence. 15, 14, 16, 13, 17, 12. And what comes next? Here are your options. Option A, 17. Option B, 12. Option C, 18. Option D, 19. Option E, 21. The correct answer is option C, which is 18. Here's the explanation. The pattern alternates between subtracting 1 and adding 2. From 15 to 14, we subtract 1. From 14 to 16, we add 2. From 16 to 13, we subtract 3. From 13 to 17, we add 4. From 17 to 12, we subtract 5. So to continue the pattern, we need to add 6 to 12, which gives us 18. The other options are incorrect because only 18 continues this alternating pattern. Question 20. We have another sequence. 62, 60, 30, 28, 14, and we need to find the next number. Your options are option A, 17, option B, 0.12, option C, 18, option D, 19, option E, 21. The correct answer is option B, which is 12. Here's why. The pattern alternates between subtracting 2 and dividing by 2. So 62 minus 2 is 60. 60 divided by 2 is 30. 30 minus 2 is 28. 28 divided by 2 is 14. To continue the pattern, we need to subtract 2 from 14, which gives us 12. The other options are incorrect because none of them match the alternating subtract and divide pattern. Question 21. This is a word problem. 5 children took an exam. Sylvie scored 60 marks. Ali scored better than Sylvie, but not as well as Jean. Tanik and Ben both scored less than Sylvie. Who scored the third highest mark in the group? Option A, Ali. Option B, Jean. Option C, Tanak. Option D, Ben. Option E, Sylvie. The correct answer is option E, Sylvie. Here's the explanation. We know Jean scored the highest because Ali didn't score as high as Jean. Ali scored between Jean and Sylvie, so Ali is second. Since Tanik and Ben both scored less than Sylvie, Sylvie is third. The other options are incorrect because Tanak and Ben scored less than Sylvie, so they can't be third. Ali is second and Jean is first. Question 22. Chayla is baking cupcakes for her birthday party, and she has 98 guests coming. If Chayla can only bake cupcakes in batches of 10, how many batches does she need to bake so every guest gets a cupcake? Option A, 7. Option B, 8. Option C, 9. Option D, 0.10. Option E, 12. The correct answer is option D, which is 10. Here's why. If you divide 98 by 10, you get 9.8. Since Chayla can't bake part of a batch, she needs to bake a whole number of batches. So she needs to bake 10 full batches to have enough cupcakes for all her guests. The other options are incorrect because any value less than 10 wouldn't give her enough cupcakes, and 12 is more than she needs. Question 23. David has an older brother named Alex, and Alex is 3 times as old as David's younger sister, Molly. David is twice Molly's age. If Alex is 21, how old is David? Option A, 14. Option B, 18. Option C, 19. Option D, 10. Option E, 12. The correct answer is option A, which is 14. Here's the explanation. Let's say Molly's age is X. Then David's age is 2 times X, or 2X, and Alex's age is 3 times X, or 3X. We know Alex is 21, so 3X equals 21. If we divide both sides by 3, we find that X equals 7, which means Molly is 7 years old. Since David is twice Molly's age, David is 2 times 7, which is 14. The other options are incorrect because only 14 satisfies the condition that David is twice Molly's age when Alex is 21. Question 24. Thomas, Dominic, and Fiorella all had chips with their lunch. Dominic had a beef burger, and Fiorella had 2 fish fingers. Thomas had a glass of cola, while Dominic and Fiorella had a lemon drink each. If this statement is true, only one of the sentences below is true. Which one is it? Option A, Thomas doesn't like fish fingers. Option B, Dominic had a beef burger, chips, and a lemon drink. Option C, Thomas had more chips than Dominic. Option D, Fiorella had fish fingers, chips, and a cola. Option E, Thomas and Fiorella shared a lemon drink. The correct answer is option B. Dominic had a beef burger, chips, and a lemon drink. Here's the explanation. The passage confirms that Dominic had all those things. Only this sentence is fully true. The other options are incorrect because option A is not mentioned in the passage. Option C is also not stated. Option D is wrong because Fiorella had a lemon drink, not cola. Option E is wrong because they each had their own lemon drink they didn't share. Question 25. Mr. Green, Mr. Brown, and Mr. Gray all work in a bank. Mr. Brown leaves for work at 7:30 a.m., 10 minutes before Mr. Green. Mr. Green takes an hour to get to work, which is 15 minutes less than Mr. Gray, who leaves home at 7 o'clock. Mr. Brown arrives at the bank at 8:50 a.m. What time does Mr. Gray arrive at work? Option A, 8 o'clock a.m. Option B, 8:05 a.m. Option C, 8:15 a.m. Option D, 8:20 a.m. Option E, 8:30 a.m. The correct answer is option C, 8:15 a.m. Here's the explanation. Mr. Green leaves at 7:40 a.m., 10 minutes after Mr. Brown, and takes 1 hour to arrive, so he gets to work at 8:40 a.m. Mr. Gray takes 1 hour and 15 minutes to get to work, since that's 15 minutes more than Mr. Green. Since Mr. Gray leaves at 7 a.m., he arrives at 8:15 a.m. The other options are incorrect because only 8:15 a.m. matches the time it takes Mr. Gray to travel after leaving at 7 a.m. Okay class, that concludes our Year 5 Mini Mock 7 video walkthrough.